What's going on, all you wild Michael Myers enthusiasts? It's your two favorite mass assailants back here for Cinephellas, and we're still doing 31 Days of Horror. And tonight we're going to be talking about one of the most anticipated horror films of 2022, and we're going to be talking about the third installment in David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy, and we're talking about Halloween
Halloween
Ends.
ends.
You came here to kill me, so do it.
Thank
Evil
God.
dies tonight.
Hopefully this franchise dies for good. And oh man, what I don't even know where to begin with this. Film was released Friday night or late Thursday night, Friday morning on Peacock. This also hit theaters. I stayed up, watching this on Peacock, and thankfully I did. The third installment of this film having to do with Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, kind of. But the setup of the film, they kind of fast forward 4 years into the future. Basically, where we left off, the Halloween Kills is a mob going after Michael Myers, and he just slices and dices all of them and walks away. And then fast forward 4 years later, picking up with Laurie Strode, her granddaughter Allison, and a new character, Corey.
Yeah, Uncle Corey in this one, brand new character and the sole focus of the film, really. I mean, even more so than Michael Myers. This is Corey's film, and we've never even met the guy before. So right away, you're thrown for a loop with this story. It's totally different than the other two, which you want something new, but it's so out there. It just doesn't feel like a Halloween film from the beginning. Even after the beginning, they're trying something. They're trying to relay a message here to the crowd and be something greater than what it is. But when all the fans want is Michael Myers, and let's get this final confrontation. You guys have been teasing it since the first movie when they had that confrontation, into the second one when we didn't even see Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode. Barely. She was in the film, but then now in this third one, they fast forward all these years. And from the get-go, the focus isn't even on like where's Michael Myers necessarily. It's Corey and what happened when he was babysitting one night, and basically how he becomes like Michael Myers. It's pretty wild and out there. And I heard the buzz leading up to the film. They mentioned something real that was going to really divide the fans, and divide it did for sure.
All the fans like ourselves that have been following this for basically their whole lives, our favorite horror franchise, just slapped it in the face with this one. The most ambitious entry in the franchise, especially David Gordon Green, just didn't work. They tried something different, focal point being Corey Cunningham. Like, as you said, he was a babysitter, basically a college student babysitting this kid, and the freak accident happens. Parents show up, and he looks like, he killed this young kid where he really didn't. So he was put away, got out, trying to live a normal life. Everybody in Haddonfield's picking on him as the outcast for killing the kid. And, he's really miserable trying to work a job, and everybody left and right just talking shit to him, beating him up. And, he's beat down in life. And then he meets Allison, played by Andy Matichak, returning as Allison in a completely different character. The way she goes about this character, they meet and they fall in love instantly over a day, and it's silly.
It's a big love story. Just what we wanted in Halloween Ends, right? The last, movie in the franchise. Everything was leading to this, and it's mostly a love story. Like one of the other Cinephellas mentions, it's like, within the first hour we get like 5 dates between the two before we even see Michael, and then finally in the last hour some things happen where we get some of the brutality of Michael Myers and get his character back in it. But right when they introduce Michael, another you're thrown again because he makes this stupid decision just out of nowhere, basically lets a victim go, like doesn't harm him or anything. Like all of a sudden he has thoughts and feelings and empathy and is able to look in this character's eyes, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'm not going to kill you, we're homies, basically. It doesn't make any sense. It really threw me for a loop. I expected something different with this film, but some of the choices, and why was we meet Michael Myers and he's basically been living in hobo jungle by the homeless crowd in Tent City, basically in a sewer tunnel for 4 years. I mean, it's just so out there. And I get that that's a nod to probably Halloween 4 with him being washed away and ended up in the sewer for that. But in this context and in this story, it doesn't make any sense why he just be chilling down here for 4 years, no mention of him, nobody looking for him, trying to find him. And it's the whole movie just throws you off. But once we do get some Halloween kills, we'll say some kills here, we get a couple good kills, and the ending, it had a pretty cool ending. It's kind of what I was expecting it to do, with it being Halloween Ends. It's just, some of the characters and the performances I wasn't buying.
Yeah, I just really wasn't with the script at all. I just thought it didn't make any sense. I remember, Molly and I watching this, and I said this over and over again. What the fuck is going on? Like literally, like what is going on?
Yeah.
The first two acts, it was like a Lifetime movie and a shitty rom-com. Jamie Lee and his Laurie Strode at the grocery store, and Will Patton, hey Laurie, hey, I got some flowers. It was like, hey, just go do your thing somewhere.
Right.
It was like punching in the face. I'm like, when is this going to pick up and find where it's going? It never
Yeah.
really does that. It's like a few different movies. That's what it felt like. Just very choppy and just a lot of silly and stupid mistakes. The core of this trilogy of Jamie Lee, Laurie Strode, trauma, fighting back, taking out, the shape Michael Myers, and it just forgets all that with this. 4 years later, she's writing a memoir and bought a house. Allison lives with her, living a happy life. Everybody just kind of forgets about all the, what happened with Michael, and he goes in hiding, essentially, like Pennywise in the sewer. And eventually Corey finding him and someone getting possessed by Michael Myers, which was also a very silly scene. Because Corey goes down there and he just starts beating the shit out of Michael Myers. Michael Myers is showing his age finally. He's like 70 years old. He's like, oh. And then somehow at the end of the movie, he's got all his, strength back. But
he's back. Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
But, him like getting possessed and becoming Michael Myers. Throughout the course of the film, Corey's like, he has the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. He looks different, and he starts killing people. And he's like the new Michael Myers, kind of passing down the knife to Corey in this movie, and just didn't make sense. It's not like like other movies like Avengers, Endgame, that's what you want, that big bang going out on top kind of thing. That's not what you get with this film. Leading up into this big Laurie and Michael fight that's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah,
if that.
Yeah.
That's how the marketing of this film is, like this big goodbye to these characters we've loved for over 40 years. The big battle at the end, how it all goes out, just very lackluster.
It goes out with a lot of gore. That's what's been in these David Gordon Green films. There's been a lot of gore and brutality, but the main ingredient and the main thing that's missing, if you're trying to bring back all the nostalgia and everything from John Carpenter, you don't ever feel any suspense or tension in these three movies. And that's my biggest problem. It's missing something out of Halloween. You have Michael Myers, yes, and he's awesome. Like when he does do the killing and everything, it's awesome to see, but I'm never freaked out, even when they do a little nod to another movie, like one of his kills, directly taken from Halloween 2. It just doesn't work. Like, he does the movements and everything great, but none of that, none of that John Carpenter magic's there, unfortunately. The two times in this film where I was like, okay, this is kind of giving me the feels of, this is finally rounding out the story, were like the main credits and the end credits. Like those two times I was like, okay, this feels like Halloween. But by the time it's over, you're like, we didn't get the film that we deserve.
No, it didn't feel like a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
It didn't even feel like in the atmosphere of Halloween. Nothing. The score was great. That was about the only redeeming quality. It's the score, John Carpenter score. Gets a really cool atmosphere. It just doesn't meet him halfway with the music. It's just a lot of silliness, a lot of dumb mistakes, subplots that all felt like different movies, and it was just a total mess and a total embarrassment and a slap in the face to the legendary franchise.
Feels like a big letdown. Some cool moments sprinkled throughout the film, but overall, for being the one that is, this might be the end of the franchise, which I doubt. I mean, for a while, maybe for a couple of years, but this one's the bit, supposed to end the legacy that started, over 40 years ago now, and for that, it just fell flat. Didn't feel like Halloween, unfortunately, and kind of a sad way to go out. I mean, I know it got #1 at the box office, so that's good for all the creators and for everybody making money. But for the true OG fans like us, it's kind of sucks to see it go out this way.
Yeah, talk about a total disappointment, and definitely probably the worst movie of the year for me. The more I think about it, watching it a few days ago and just thinking about it, read some reviews on it, just total mess and total misfire, and really disappointed in this. Disappointed David Gordon Green. We don't need any more Halloween movies. We're good.
Yeah.
After all this, kind of went out with a huge dud. So that being said, I'm giving Halloween Ends, thank God, I'm gonna give it half a hairpiece out of 5.
Oh,
Michael Myers hairpieces.
Wow, that's a terrible score. Oh man, I didn't like it, but I'll be nicer than that. For it not feeling like a Halloween movie, there was a decent movie in there. It's just the way it was edited and thrown together, and it wasn't a Halloween movie. It was some other movie, a Lifetime movie. And for that, I'm going to give Halloween Ends a 2 out of 5. Dr. Loomis hairpieces. Get out of the way.
So we're interested in hearing your thoughts on Halloween Ends. It just released on Friday. Let us know what you liked about it. What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild mass assailants on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and horror reviews.
Man, this is the end of it. This is the end of it all. Hopefully, we don't see one of these. We don't need anymore, like you mentioned. This is the end. And for that, it's sad, but it needs to be put out of his misery. How many sequels, lackluster sequels, have we gotten now? We got a couple decent ones, but, let the original, couple films stand on its own. Just those 2 films are enough to make anybody a fan of the franchise. This one isn't going to make me hate Michael Myers or anything like that, but it's it just sucks to see it go out like that. But we got a trip back to Haddonfield anyway, so for that, we're happy. Just wish it would have ended up a little better, but that's okay. We can't win them all.
That's right. We got to go back to Haddonfield. We all got slapped in the face a few times watching this piece of shit. I'd rather go back and watch Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes than this movie ever again. So I'll probably never watch it. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same, but of course, let us know.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to get over the sting of this one. Sad to see Uncle Michael go, but we'll watch the first couple around Halloween time. 1 through 3. Those are the main ones that I'm concerned with and happy with.
Part four too.
Part 4, sure.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, they got the feel of being Halloween anyway in the film, more than I can say for these 3. It's all over in Haddonfield, but we're all month long in October. We're going to keep going. We're reviewing everything, literally everything that's coming on. New movies, old movies, TV shows, so much, to watch this month. It's been crazy. We're keeping on top of it though. But anyways, we'll be back very soon with another movie and TV review for the 31 Days of Horror. So until the next time, we're signing out in the quiet town of Haddonfield, where Michael Myers has been killed finally. Or has he? Till next time, cheers!
Cheers!
Evil dies.